Hey everybody, it's Tara. I was just deciding to make a video today. We went down and took a day trip to Sacramento. My mother-in-law came into town to visit, and on the way down we decided to stop in this place called Paradise. Paradise is a town that was struck by a wildfire last year on November 8th, so it was a year ago yesterday. And we ended up watching a documentary on Netflix about it. It's called Fire in Paradise, so check it out if you can. It's called the campfire. So the campfire was a huge wildfire that came and struck this town, and it is the story of how the winds had picked up and blown embers over the town, and then the fire had come from all sides, so they couldn't get out, and it's just this crazy situation that happened. And there were heroic people trying to go through the fire to bring people to safety, and so we decided to go take a look because we felt like it would be a really good thing to get a reality check. And as we drove through the town, it was so impacting just to see leveled foundations where homes were. 11,000 homes were destroyed in that fire just in that town, and they said it was 90%. And it wasn't even the empty foundations and the burned out vehicles and just the barrenness. It was kind of, for me, the most impacting thing were the ones that were left. So you would see, I know in a tornado this tends to happen, where it'll take one house and leave the other. Well, this fire took 90%, so 9 out of 10, and then left 1. And those people have to still live there now because their home wasn't destroyed. And so they can't claim anything on insurance. And so there's businesses, same thing. 9 businesses are gone, 1 remains. And it made me really just think about things on a spiritual basis. 9 out of 10 people in this world, we can say accurate knowledge, it would be an accurate estimate that would be the amount of people that just don't know the Lord. Maybe professing Christians, we could bump it up a little bit more of people who say they do, but aren't really following him. And so I just started to think what it's like for these people that are left here. We ended up stopping at a gas station on the way out and had talked to 2 of the owners and got this amazing time to talk to them and just hear them out a little bit. We asked them if they had seen the documentary, and they said no and got kind of upset right away. And they just said, we lived it. We don't need to watch that. We don't want to watch that. And she had told me, the lady that owned it told me that she had, this lady had given birth in their parking lot of the gas station, and the ambulance had come to take them out. And as the ambulance was leaving, because the fire was raging all around them, it ended up starting on fire, the roof of the ambulance with them all in it. And it's just a crazy story. And then she had to leave her own children in the care of someone else. She couldn't get them. And she said they made the decision to close down the gas station, and people were swearing at them and screaming at them because nobody had gas for their vehicles and they couldn't get out. But by the time she had closed the gas station, there was fire on all 4 sides of them. She said she had to walk her motorcycle out of the smoke because in the smoke the cars weren't running, they wouldn't start. So by the time a lot of these people left, they didn't have a vehicle that was working to leave, and so they had to walk through the fire. So the story just impacted me so much, just to think about, what it would be like to know that all the people around you could be gone in an instant. Craig kind of mentioned the idea of, what if you had a fire prevention that was free from the government, and you could surround your house and it would be safe. And people had the opportunity if they wanted it or not. It's their choice, but to not offer them that opportunity when there's this impending doom and this fire coming is just so awful to think about. To think the lady said she had nothing good to say about what happened at the fire because it was so awful that they were not prepared. No one was prepared. And I look at that in a spiritual sense, Are we preparing those around us? Do we even talk about it? Do we even think about it ourselves? What it's going to be like to be the one that's left out of 10? You know, what is that going to be like? I know that Jesus is the answer, and everything. There will be no tears in heaven, but just even thinking right now about that, one person and so many around you that wouldn't know Jesus, that wouldn't get to heaven, and wouldn't escape the fires to come and the doom to come, and how that needs to affect us and the way that we live this life here. It was a really powerful example of that today for us, and to just see that, like, the fire, when the fire comes, it just burns up everything. There's nothing that makes it. I mean, I didn't get a real enough picture until I saw the devastation of these homes and stuff. There was literally nothing. Metal burned to nothing. I mean, even metal, like, that's how hot these fires are. And to just think of the consuming fire of our Father and the consuming fire of the wrath of God is a very real thing. And at moments, it's important to get a reality check that we're not just here to ride this out for ourselves, that we're nice and safe when there's people all around us that could die. There's people all around us that need to hear, they need to know. And so my heart is sharing this with you guys just to stir you up a little bit in that. Maybe share this with you, and you can look on Netflix and watch the documentary, or look on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube about the campfire, and just let it stir in your spirit that, we have a limited amount of time here, and there is an impending fire. There is an impending doom. And what are we doing about it to prepare us and to prepare those who we love, so that they aren't left, that they don't burn, that they don't tragically fall victim, especially when the grace of Jesus is so freely given. So that is the way I experienced it, and I hope you are blessed by it. Thanks. Bye, guys.